All right, welcome back to Xcode. Today I'm going to show you how to integrate this gradient animation with CAGradientLayer and CABasicAnimation. So really simple stuff. I wrote a Medium article on it just a second ago. As you can see, it's a 2-minute read. So just stand by. We're going to go through it and I'll show you how to do it on video, okay? So yeah, let's go ahead and get started by creating a new Xcode project. Let's see. Xcode. All right, single view app. I'm going to call this CA Gradient with CA Basic Animation. Just name it whatever you want. Basically, what we're doing is we're creating an animation here, like exactly what you see on the screen, okay? And then I'm going to create a series on these and write some more Medium articles covering other parts of it, custom classes with CA Gradient and stuff like that. If you have any suggestions, please leave them down in the comments below. I will record them, and I actually need some ideas, so go ahead and do that, and I'll show you how to do those things, okay? So here's our empty project. I think the font size is at a good size, but my face needs to go there, so I'm going to put this over here, and then I'm going to put this right here, okay? All right, and then I'll just expand this a bit, and then I'll put this over a bit more, and then we can reference it like so. If you can't really see like this article here, if it's too tiny, just click on the link in the description, and you can read it on there and look at it yourself. Okay, I'll also zoom in a bit. Okay, so first things first, what's CA Gradient Layer? Basically, the docs, if you look at the docs, it tells you, it says it's a layer that draws a color gradient over its background color, filling the shape of the layer. So basically, we're just putting a layer on top of a UI view to get this, and we're going to fill it with a couple gradient colors, okay? So a couple colors, and then it can be a gradient. You can use up to 4 colors. We're going to be using 2 in this video. And then there's other things like locations, end point, start point, and type, okay? Now, those are things I can cover in other videos in this series. So in all likelihood, there's going to be about 5 more videos and 5 more articles, all right? But anyway, that's the docs. You can go ahead and check it out if you want. Again, that's linked in the Medium article, so you can just click the link to my Medium article to get there. And let's go ahead and get started, okay? So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna say let blank view to create a blank UI view, and then we're gonna just give it a frame and a size to put it on the screen. Okay, so we're gonna say blank view dot frame dot size is equal to CG size. Okay, so we're just giving it a size here, 200 by 200. I'm not giving it the where it belongs on the screen yet, because I'm just gonna take the center of our view and that's where I'm gonna put it. So we can achieve that by saying blank view dot center is equal to view dot center. So really basic stuff. And then let's just give it a background color. We didn't give it a background color in this article here. And that's just because it wasn't necessary to show the gradient, but I'm going to show you more in depth here on the channel how to do things. That's the whole point of the videos, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to say blank view . All right, hopefully it doesn't freaking turn off again. All right, so, hopefully it doesn't turn off again. But yeah, what we're gonna say is view.add subview blank view. And then we're just gonna reload our application and we're gonna see that it is on the screen now. Okay, so I'll speed it up right here. Right, and that's what we got, okay? So next thing we need to do is just add the gradient. So we'll say let gradient is equal to CA gradient layer, okay? Now basically, that's what we just talked about in the documentation. It's a layer that draws a gradient over its background color, filling the shape of the layer. All right, notice how that's the exact same description as what you see in the documentation. So part of my channel here is to just show you how to read documentation and the connections between Xcode and the documentation. As you can see, CA gradient layer has the description same as what it's there in the documentation. Okay, so we're going to say layer, and we're just going to say blank view dot layer. Okay, we want to make this out of our layer. I'm not sure if this is actually necessary, but we'll take it out at the end and see. Okay, we're going to say gradient dot colors. We're going to give it some colors. And in this example, I'm just going to say UI color dot, and we'll say yellow. And then we have to make this a CG color because it's the quartz color reference that corresponds to the receiver's color. Okay, it takes in a CG color. So we'll say UI color dot yellow dot CG color. Okay, next thing we'll do is we'll say UI color dot blue dot CG color. Okay, then let's get rid of this background color blue just because we don't need it anymore. And let's reload our application, and we're going to see basically nothing because the blank view doesn't have a background color. I think it's maybe it'll be black, but either way, we can't really see it here anymore. But when we add this gradient, you'll see that it's on. I just wanted to remove that there to show you that that blue color is coming from the gradient, not the background color. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to say gradient dot start point, and I'm not going to talk too much about what these do, what the start point and end points are. But again in another video I will. This is just to show you how to get this on the screen and working so you can kind of mess around with it yourself if you don't want to watch the other videos. Okay, we're going to say gradient dot endpoint is equal to CG point, and then that's going to be the same thing except for we'll put 1 for Y, and then we'll say gradient dot frame is equal to blank view dot bounds. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're getting the CG rect from our blank view, and basically we're assigning gradients frame to the same exact bounds. Okay, so it's in the same place and then it's the same size. If you were to say blank view dot frame, it would put it in the corner or something, but we want to do bounds. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to say blank view. So we're going to take the blank view now and we're going to say dot layer. We're going to take its layer and we're going to insert a sub layer, and that sub layer is going to be our gradient. Okay, and then we're going to insert it at 0. That's just the positioning of the layers because again it's like a layer. You could have a layer on top of a layer. If you want a video on that, just drop a comment and I'll do it. I'll also write a Medium article on it. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're just going to add I think we're good actually. We don't need to add the sub view of the blank view because we did it above. Okay, so let's reload our application and see what we've got. All right, and we've got a nice looking gradient here. Okay, so again, the point of this video is to show you how to put a gradient on the screen, and also mainly to show you how to animate gradients. Okay, so let's do that now. We're going to use that with CABasicAnimation. Yeah, so let's go ahead and say let animation is equal to CABasicAnimation, and you'll see it takes in a key path. It creates and returns a CA property animation instance for the specified key path. What we want to put here is locations. Okay, so what we're going to animate is the locations. Okay, and I actually didn't declare that for our gradient, but we'll just animate it and see what happens. Okay, I think by default it's just going to go halfway. Okay, so if we were to comment this out and go up here and say gradient dot locations is equal to, and we'll read what it says, an optional array of NS number objects defining the location of each gradient stop. And then you'll also see that it says animatable. So that's something to look out for in future coding deals that you mess around with, just in your future of coding, is if it says animatable, you can apply CA basic animations to it. Okay, for locations, what we're going to do is we're going to say 0 and we're going to say 1. Okay, and that shouldn't really change much, but it might be down further. Let's take a look and see what it looks like. Okay, so it looks very similar. I think it might be down a little bit further, but either way, it's working. And if we were to say 1.5, let's just see what that does. All right, I'll speed it up here. All right, so yeah, put it down a lot more. So if we were to say 0.4, it would pull it up quite a bit too. Okay, so that's a little bit on locations. Let's go ahead and animate our locations now. Okay, so we're going to say let animation is equal to CABasicAnimation key path of locations, and let's just animate it down further, and then we'll just have it go back and forth. Okay, so let's say animation dot from value, and we'll say the from value is going to be 0 and 0.4, just like we declared up here. I imagine if we were to put it at a different from value, it would kind of jump at the very first frame. Okay, next thing we're going to do is say animation dot to value, and we'll just set that equal to 0 and then like 1.5. Remember how when we set 1.5 here, it went down further? We're going to animate it back and forth there. Next thing we want to do is say animation dot repeat count, And in my Medium article, I did float.infinity, so it lasted forever. I'm just going to say like 2 and see what it does, and then I'll switch it to infinity next time we compile. Next thing we're going to do is just say gradient.add, and then we're going to add the CA animation. Okay, so make sure you select this constructor, the only one for add. Add the specified animation object to the layer's render tree. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to say animation. We're going to add that animation in, and for key, we're going to put nil. Okay, so let's reload our application and let's see what we get. All right, so you'll see that it went down and back really quick. So let's go ahead and see, let's say animation dot timing begin time. We could mess around with the timing. I'm not going to do that in this video, but let's just repeat it for 100 times. Let's just say that was really quick. We'll see how fast it does it 100 times. Okay. Okay, so you can see that it's animating back and forth. Okay. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and change this now to float.infinity, and it should just do this forever, basically. Oh, and I missed one thing. The reason it's going back up like that, jerking, is because we didn't set auto reverses to true. Okay, so animation is, so it's kind of just hopping back to 0.4. We'll say animation.auto reverses is equal to true. Okay, so now if we reload our application, we're going to see a nice animation that goes back and forth forever. Okay, now I haven't thought of too much about what I would use this for, but I'm sure after a while of thinking, I could probably think of something sick to use this for. Let me know in the comments what you use it for, and if you have any ideas of what you want me to use it for in a video, and I can show you how to do that. Okay, so that's it for this video. I would really appreciate it if you could follow me on Medium and leave a like and subscribe here. It'd really help out. All right, so I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace out.